Hey everyone, it's the Stacking Cat, and I am back with a brand new video about silver. And today I will be talking about both LCSs and online bullion sites, some pros and cons for each. So please stay tuned.
Stacking Kat.
Hello YouTube, and welcome to the Stacking Cat channel, where I talk all things silver with a little bit of gold. And thank you so much for watching. I greatly do appreciate it. If you haven't yet subscribed, then please do so and push that notification bell, smash the like button, and leave a comment. That would be awesome. So we are in the middle of March 2020, and of course we are now in the middle of what is being referred to as a global pandemic. And so everybody out there, please just try to do what all the public officials are recommending that we do, such as wash your hands, engage in social distancing. I know that's not the funnest thing and it can get a little boring. You have YouTube to watch though, if you get bored at your house, but the alternative is a lot worse. So, everybody out there, please be safe. And, this is a big world. Let's all stick together at a time like this. Not panic, and just continue to be citizens. All right, so with that being said, I'm going to get into the video. I am going to talk about the differences and some similarities between the LCS or an online bullion site, the pros and cons for both of them, and just a little disclaimer, this video will not include anything about eBay, coin shows, or private sales. And although I use those sources, I primarily purchase my precious metals using online bullion sites and go into the LCS. So that's the reason why I'll be talking about them specifically. And with all of that being said, let's get started. So I'm going to begin by talking about local coin shops, or more commonly known by their initials, LCS. A big advantage of an LCS is the ability to create a rapport with the owner and staff, as well as fellow customers. And the positives of this include things such as networking and getting to what I would consider expert advice. But most importantly, it builds that trust factor. And however, with all of these factors I just mentioned, it is important to do some research on any particular LCS, such as the ability associated with each shop, meaning how long have they been in business? Is it a reputable business? Such as how is it graded by services such as the Better Business Bureau, and what are customers saying about it? Now, a big difference between the two options, and one that favors an LCS, is the ability to negotiate prices. You also may be able to fall into great deals, which aren't always afforded to online sites. As an example, one of the LCSs that I do go to has a set premium on all silver, and this includes coins that usually have a higher premium, such as these pandas here. Here's a 2019 I was able to get for just $3 over, which is a really good deal. As well as one of my better pickups is the 2003 Perth Mint Lunar Series 0, the GOAT, that I also got for only $3 over. Now this particular coin is going for a lot more than that on the secondary market. So it's really just all about finding deals. And with an LCS, you have that ability to negotiate. You may have, they all have different ideas on what their prices are. So just, that's where doing some research, some trial and error. If you're lucky enough to have, multiple LCS locations in your area, then try to frequent all of them and try to build up that rapport. Now, other benefits include things such as same-day purchases. You get to always bring your silver home with you. Now, many times there may be long drives up to 2 to 3 hours, or, not even having an accessible area at all. There just aren't local coin shops in every geographic region. Here in the United States, this holds true, as I'm sure it does across the world. And that kind of brings me to a dilemma which faces the LCS, which is inventory, as many are dependent on customers selling items to them. They usually stock things such as the Eagles, which I just showed, and Canadian Maple Leafs, or at least in North America, that's the case, as I'm sure Britannia's are over in the UK and so forth. And so the idea of the customers selling back their silver to create an inventory for these local coin shops really holds true with things such as constitutional silver. So we see here, that usually requires turnover of goods. So I love these Franklins. And of course, it's always nice to be able to, with things like constitutional silver, is inspecting what you are purchasing. You don't want to find something that ends up being really worn out with a lot of silver missing, which could be common with things like a Walker here. This one is still showing pretty good rigidity here on Lady Liberty. But sometimes, you can find a slick and lose a good amount of silver. So, when it comes to buying constitutional silver, for me at least, the LCS is the way to go. Yeah, I love that coin there. As you can see, some other ones, like the old Washington quarters. Mercury dimes, silver loss is definitely a concern. Let's take the lid off there. You just want to make sure, that's a 1927, so was probably rolling around in somebody's pocket for a great many years, so that's always just something really to be mindful of. Now, there are also logistical concerns associated with the LCS. And, these include things such as hours of operation. Most shops are only open during the day, with a pretty common example of being from like 10 to 6 or even 10 to 5, which can make things difficult, if you have a job, if you're in school, if you're in college or whatever, and you just can't make it there during those times. Now, some are open on the weekends, usually Saturdays. I don't know of too many, at least here in the area I live in, where they're open on Sundays. And as a matter of fact, I don't think any are. And they're usually on that Saturday schedule. It's with reduced hours or limited hours, such as you might get like a 10 to 4. So it's not always conducive to making it there on time. As I mentioned before about the long drives, that's another logistical concern. And many are cash only. So they won't take a debit card or a check, and be prepared to hit up that ATM before going in. You don't want to get caught short-handed if you do have the money, or if you have an idea of what you want to get, and let's say they have a great deal on, some of these peace dollars, for example, and you just don't have the money to get it, and they won't take your debit card. Now, I'm not advocating paying with a credit card. It's probably not good to purchase an investment on credit unless there's some absolute need. But, just a debit card is usually just right out of your bank account. So be prepared with that for them to be cash only. Now, I know this isn't always the case, but you just never know, especially if you're visiting one for the first time. So now let's get into online bullion companies. Of course, many of these are places like AppMex, SD Bullion, J&M Bullion. You got your Monument Metals, Bold Precious Metals. And they are prevalent within an online shopping structure, to which I at least refer to as the Amazonification of the way we shop. Now, I wish I could trademark that term, but it's really true. Amazon's really changed the way we shop, or just the internet in general. So online bullion shops really are in line with that way of buying. And a lot of this just has to do with the convenience of site selection and mass inventory. But most importantly, it is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you could order from the comfort of your home. You could do it, sneak away from work on your phone, riding in the car, at a baseball game, wherever it may be. There's a lot of convenience associated with purchasing through online bullion sites. And of course, the idea that there are many sites to choose from, you can always compare prices. This is very important, as well as locating difficult to find items, ones that you generally might not find in your LCS, which is usually the case, as most LCSs really just stock the foundational pieces. Eagles, right there, Maples, just your standards. You might see some Philharmonics, something like that, but if you want to get maybe like an EC8 coin, like this one, you're going to have to really rely on them being sold back by a customer, kind of like constitutional silver. But that is much more prevalent than finding any type of coin like this one, or even like this Chi Wu. And remember to always search for deals. That is one of the major factors. When I buy online, I try to always purchase my bullion as whatever a deal or a sale price may be. I like this Korean Tiger. This one's really cool. Comsco. Love that little security AG there in the corner. And most of these just have large selections to choose from. Now, another benefit of online bullion sites are that they do have multiple payment options. And after purchase, you can usually count on a speedy and discreet delivery. However, still be reminded and aware and alert of package theft, as it does occur, but just be aware of that. And like with an LCS, be sure to check out consumer protection rating sites such as the Better Business Bureau and read the consumer comments. Now, most of the big ones like the Abmexes, the SD Bullions, the JMs, the Providence, whatever, usually have high customer satisfaction ratings. It will sit anywhere, in the 4.8 to 4.9 level. So just be kind of aware of that. Now, there are, however, some other things to consider when shopping online. One of these is not having the ability to negotiate a price. This can be very difficult in instances of collecting high-priced items, where there usually is a price window at an LCS. And for more common items, such as bars, rounds, coins, etc., there's generally a set price over spot. So always look for deals, always look for what's on sale. I'm guilty of the impulse buy too. You see something that looks really cool and you purchase it, but as long as you get something that's reasonably low over spot, I don't think you'll be too hurt in the long run. Plus it's always fun to just kind of have a variety in your stack. Now, another downside which can leave negative ramifications is the inability to inspect the goods. This is especially problematic with, like I said before, the constitutional silver. Where that silverware is just a concern. I mean, there's no getting around that. And so when I'm at an LCS, for example, and I'm going through a lot of these old constitutional coins, or whether they're old silver dollars, it takes a little while. You probably reject 3 or 4 for every one you grab. So as long as they have a nice selection, you're afforded that benefit. Now, when you purchase through an online site, you never know what you're going to get. They might send you AU or BU by accident and you score. But you also might get a bunch of slicks, which is not a good thing. So always be mindful of that. Kind of be discretionary with what you purchase. So what I do is I have kind of a set list of what I'm going to purchase. You know, at the LCS, it's usually the Eagles or the Maples or whatever, and the Constitutional. And if I happen to find a great deal like that year of the GOAT, and online, I'm getting more of the rare stuff, the random coins you can't find everywhere else, but still have that low premium price, and always hunt those deals, especially for things like a kookaburra. I think I found this one in an LCS. This is a 2017 with a great white shark privy. Got a good deal on that one as well. So, you know, those things you can find at the LCS, but you're more likely to find them at an online bullion site, you know, with a set kind of window of where that price will be. And you have the luxury of shopping, you know, price comparison, shopping through a bunch of different sites. So that is always a big time benefit. So as you can see, there are positives of both the LCS and the online bullion sites, but also both have concerns to consider before purchasing. And remember out there, do what is best for your stack and or your collection. This is kind of just my guidelines that I follow, and I wanted to share them with everybody out there in the YouTube silver stacking and collecting community. Maybe you'll get just a little bit out of it. And if not, I just hope you enjoyed the video. Maybe I was able to hit on a point that you didn't think about. So I hope this video helped in any way, and thank you all for watching. If you'd like to watch similar videos like this about silver, then please consider subscribing and pushing that notification bell. Smash that like button and leave a comment, maybe what your preferences are when it comes to an LCS or online site. And until next time, this is the Stacking Cat.